All right. Hello. Welcome, everybody, to Footy Abroad here on your four favorite footy fan channels. I think they're your four favorites.
Definitely.
We are here on Tuesday, the 6th of May, 2025. And we are here. There's actually a massive show lined up tonight. There's a bit of feeling that's going to no doubt come out tonight, as it has been before we go live. Lads, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Can't wait for this one. As always, it's a nice way to start the week on a Tuesday.
Very good week to start. Very good way to start the week on a Tuesday. What did you guys get up to today?
Went to Pies training to see who's not playing at the game against Fremantle. Came home, did some content, went to the gym, had a nap. You know, good little day, and now I'm just had a nap ready for the explosiveness of tonight.
That's a lot of naps.
Had to amp myself up.
Pommy?
Just a bit of content, to be honest. Not real intriguing today. Nothing exciting to report.
Yeah, fair. Jake, what'd you do today, mate?
A bit of content, went down to the G, saw your lovely self and filmed a couple of videos there, which was nice. And then came home, went for a walk and pumped for tonight. Got the topic ready. Nice topic, I reckon. Probably my best yet, to be honest. And big game on Friday, which should be fun to discuss.
Well, you just know this is going to be a hypothetical.
It could be. Could be.
It could be.
Could I just say, the way Jake and I got ourselves into the MCG today was iconic.
Did you actually go into you got into the G?
We talked our way into the G.
Yeah, you have to tell us how now. What the hell?
Jake, how did we do it?
We walked in. No, it was thanks to, I think we can definitely call him out. He was a legend at the front. Old mate Con. Yep, he's a Carlton supporter. So he hooked us up and organised through the MCG, and we picked a spot and just got to sit there for a good hour. I reckon it was probably more than that, actually.
For sure. He gave us, you know how like you go and try and do something and then you're in Australia, so it's got to go through processes and systems and you got to speak to this person. So he gave us a number of the head of something and she was busy. So the way we just like spoke about it and positioned it, she just didn't want to deal with it. So she just kind of led us through. It was actually a masterclass in wordplay. So
how good's that?
Yep.
Anyway, Con. Shout out to Con.
Hope they're not watching.
Oh, Con, if Con's watching, good on you, mate. You're a legend.
Yeah. Anyway, lads, let's begin. We'll start at the top. Jake, you're at the top for a reason. Why don't you give us a rundown about the Saints, mate? Because they were the most impressive performing team of the weekend out of the three teams tonight, I would have thought. Yeah,
no, it was complete polar opposite to the week before, to be honest. Playing Fremantle, I was a little bit worried going into the game that our season was slowly slipping away, and you never want to lose 4 in a row. But I mean, Ross just got him amped for it, to be honest. It was a Ross sort of game. It was a Ross masterclass in the coach's box, and the stats prove it. You know, we completely negated anything that I don't think there was a moment in the game where Freo had any sort of ascendancy, to be honest. Like, I don't know if you guys watched it, but I don't think there was any momentum at all. And usually I'm very much like, you know, you're gonna have moments in the game for you and then against you, and it's how you manage against that really wins the game. But we didn't even have that. We just kind of really locked on Brayshaw, Sarong, and played man on man, which was really interesting. We've normally gone zonal.
Thanks, man.
So there was a bit of a shift there. We'll just wait for.
No, you go ahead.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, he's got great
right,
mate. To win clearances and pressure that way, and a record ground ball I mean, I don't care if people label that as a boring Friday night game. Blame that on Fremantle. We did our job. We turned up, played 4 quarters, and belted them by 10 goals. So, it was good to get a little bit of reward for, I guess, what we've been learning across the losses, and then to implement it on a Friday night was awesome.
What was there a label of boring? I didn't watch it. I was at a 21st of all things. But like, was there a sentiment about it being boring?
For sure. Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, all the talk since the game has been, why was this game marquee Friday night? Why wasn't it Sunday? I mean, at halftime, it wasn't looking like a great spectacle. I'll give people that. It was 27-7. But we were still attacking, playing a good brand, I thought. And I think some people just think a game's boring if it's just a team just being so dominant. You know, an exciting game is end-to-end, 50-50. You don't know who's going to win. It can be equally as exciting when you see a team so switched on, I think, you know, even as a neutral, to see a team be as disciplined as us. And then we kicked 94 points. So, I mean, I don't think that's boring. You're nearly kicking 100 points. But, I mean, I think we'd all take a win even if it was boring. So,
yeah,
it doesn't really
100%.
matter at the end of the day, right?
4 points is 4 points. Yep.
Especially this early in this season after 3 losses, you take it.
Luke, one of the most exciting. I didn't see all the game. I finished the fan cams and watched the 4th quarter of the Pies Cats game. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, as a neutral, wow.
Yeah, it was. It's always a good game when the Pies and Cats play, but that was just something else. And we've seen, you know, well, one, credit to what the Cats were able to do, and mainly Dangerfield in that last quarter. He's just gone to an absolute another level this season. What he was, you know, grabbing them by the scruff of their neck and taking them through. But 2, to nearly win it at the death with Jack Crisp kicking the goal would have been just an absolute fairy tale. And we've done it before. We've done it so many times before, but just couldn't get it through. Just absolutely couldn't get it through. But fuck, it was exciting being there with everyone there. And when he marked it on the siren, you couldn't script it. You couldn't script it even if you tried. But you know, a couple of umpiring decisions don't go your way, and a couple of missed opportunities and hitting the post. And I think we're in a good place, the Pies, despite that loss. And now we fly to the West with half our team out and take on the bloody Dockers.
Can I just ask all of us, just a quick one? Did you think it was a trip?
I definitely don't.
I thought he legged him. My initial reaction was he legged him.
Yeah, look, I can see why the umpire thought that. Like, you know, it was so quick, but I don't know the theater of it all. And then again, it's just like getting just like when you watch people getting hit off the ball, or you know, with a concussion and stuff. If you slow it down, you can see that the tackle, he hits the ball out of his arm first, but then Sicily does the same thing the next day, and it's not a trip. So it's just like, I think what is upsetting the most, yes, okay, it could have been either way, but it's the consistency, and that's just what is the most upsetting. It's just like we were talking about last week. It's not as black and white as we wanted it to be, but you know, tackle started at the hips and then falls down. It is what it is. We shouldn't have to rely on an umpire call to win us a game. We were 20 points up. And, you know, Nick Dacos gets tagged out of that last quarter. Like I said, we hit the post twice in the first quarter. We should have been 5 goals up at 3/4 time. So we only have ourselves to blame. Umpiring decisions don't go our way, and they don't go anyone's way sometimes. And that's the way the cookie crumbles, you know?
I actually thought the Blitzarv's no touch was more controversial than the Bobby Hill. Did he 100%. Leg him? Did he not leg him? Personally.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That
was, I think the thing that's most annoying about that is one, they're still using security cam footage. If they weren't going to put the ball in the chip like they did at with AFLW, they were trialing it and stuff like that. At least get high definition cameras. You know, my 80-year-old grandfather he's got an iPhone 8 and he's got a better camera than fucking they do on the goal line. And two,
Yeah.
don't let the guys on the bastards on the boundary make a call when he's got 3 posts in the way. Like he was gonna see. The boundary goal umpire has to back himself in.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Pommy, our Blues were as disinterested in showing fight when things weren't going their way as they could possibly get. It was typical Carlton, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we played as good as the camera footage is at the G. To be fair, I would have rather watched that game using the MCG security cameras. To be fair, it would have been less painful. It was very poor. To follow on from Jake, as we were on the receiving end of what St Kilda did to Fremantle, an absolute tactical masterclass. One team had done the research on the other team, and the other team just came up saying we've won 16 flags. I'll let you decide which two teams' game plan was 16 flags and one was actually a football plan. Yeah, really poor. After 3 weeks of bit of glazing, I think sometimes people thinking it was maybe we were back. We were quickly brought back down to earth. So, yeah, I mean, the excuses have started, though, haven't they, already? Our Blue Boys, we love an excuse. Jesus was out. Adelaide's got a thinner climate than it has in Melbourne, so it makes it harder for us to move the ball. We've had all them excuses, haven't we? Obviously, this week, this is it, really, now. Don't want to keep repeating myself, but every game, really, for the Blues is a grand final now. It's... Yeah. I think next loss, it's GG's, isn't it? Really, it's sayonara. Thanks very much. 2026 might be there.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Carlton are the football equivalent, right? You know, you've all got that mate, right? So I'm going to give you an analogy of what it's like, so you can appreciate what I'm feeling. But you know, you've got that dickhead on your Facebook. You probably were mates with him year 9, right? And you forgot you added him, right? But you haven't spoke to him for like 20 years. But every January, right, after a year of bitching and moaning, he says, new year, new me, 2024 can get fucked. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to get a nice wife, girlfriend. I'm going to get a better job, right? And then by March, he's been dumped 4 times. He's gone back to his first job at McDonald's, and he's somehow put on 25 kgs. And, you know, 9 months later, he'll say 2025. That's Carlton. We're that guy where you should really unfriend him, but now you've enjoyed the 10 years of turmoil that it's too funny to unfriend him. That's what we are. That's who we are. We are that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
Let me tell you, it was a good hate watch, though. Very good hate watch.
Oh, yeah. It would have been. You know, it's like, and to be honest, I actually thought the scoreboard flattered Carlton at times. I genuinely thought the Crows were wasteful and still won by 10 goals. So, yep, one for the haters. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And I had to sit at the MCG today and listen to Jake glazing fucking Cooper Sharman.
Glazing.
Looking me in the eyes and telling me about Cooper Sharman. And I had to bite my tongue and not say who.
The disrespect. The disrespect, mate.
Anyway.
It's all right. You only have to watch it once. I had to watch it 3 times, one for the review and then one to do the stupid rating show. So Carlton don't realise that every bad performance, I have to watch it multiple times.
Anyway. But yeah, we will eventually talk about the Blues and the Saints this Friday night because there's a bit going on. There is definitely a bit going on. And so, yeah, why don't we get started, guys, with our themes and topics and questions. Luke, do you want to start us off?
Cool. So my question is, should the AFL's actual website be allowed to... Okay, this is going to sound, how I'm going to phrase it is going to sound weird, but I'll explain why. Should they be allowed to voice journalist opinions that go against the grain of the AFL. And what I mean by that is on the AFL's website, they were talking about Hartley Reid and how West Coast, Matthew Lloyd was saying West Coast need to get rid of him on the AFL's own website. Now, I get, Matty Lloyd's on Channel 9 or wherever he's, whatever he's doing. And you can do it on there, that's fine. But on the AFL's actual website where you go on for all your news, you go on for all your teams and stuff, these journalists are being employed by the AFL. They're not being employed by Channel 7 to write something for the AFL. They're being employed by the AFL to say West Coast need to get rid of Hartley Reid if they're to be, whatever he was saying about that. Like, Lee, I just don't think that, and you were seeing it with Clayton Oliver as well on the AFL's website. I just don't think that they should have any dog in that sort of fight. With that strong of an opinion, if you know what I'm saying.
When that opinion he had on Hartley Reid, was that for the
access all areas or something?
Oh, so it was like an actual AFL.com.
Yeah, no, it was an actual. Yeah, it was an actual AFL.com.au show.
Yeah,
he said it on 9 too. I think he backed it up.
So that's fine. Saying it on 9-7, fine. But saying it on the 8 that they produce, it's just, I don't know. It's just a little weird to me.
I mean, the AFL, they got Kane Corns on there, so I mean, it kind of blows that out of the water because he does all that sort of stuff all the time. What's the alternative though? You want them all to park their opinions and no opinion pieces, or?
Yeah, that's. I guess that's the question that I'm sort of asking. Is like, is there one? Should they be allowed to sort of do that? And two, is there an alternative? And you just keep that on the smaller shows.
Yeah. Well, I don't think such opinions should be broadcast to the AFL website.
Yep.
Like if Lloyd says it on the Sunday Footy Show or on Classified, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm with you. It is weird that it's on the AFL media produced show, and then on the AFL's website. It is pretty unprofessional. But
yeah,
I mean, this is a glorified bush league when you really think about it.
Yeah, 100%.
It reminds me of I've never liked it when like an incident happens on field, it's a bump or it's a sling tackle or whatever, and the commentators will then for the next 35 minutes try and debate how many weeks it's going to be. And I'm like, one of them will say 5, and then I feel like there's influence in that. It's like, oh, that's definitely more than 4. It's like, you don't know. It's a similar thing, I think, where it's like they're influencing, I think, the outcome a little bit by doing that. But I mean, I'm trying to think of a world where they don't do what Luke's saying, and if we're playing it safe at that point.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying as well is like you brought up Kane Corns, and what Kane Corns does, not everyone sort of agrees with, and he's going after the players and stuff like that. But what Matthew Lloyd, and I like Matthew Lloyd as a journo. I think he's, sometimes he says really, really, really good things on Classified and whatnot. But I'd be so upset if like Damien Barrett in one of his journalist pieces and opinion pieces on the AFL website says, oh no, he did. Fuck, I just remembered. He did say it. He said on the AFL website that North Melbourne need to go really hard for Scott Pendlebury. He said this a couple of years ago because they need the leadership there, and they should throw it's like, you're employed by the AFL. Like, I get it. Leave it for the Herald Sun. Leave it for the Age, or that's an opinion piece for that. I don't know. It's. But then, like separating church and state. You know what I mean?
At that point, though, like, can they not then say, oh, the Freo coach is under fire, his position's on the line? Are they not allowed to talk about that then? Because then it stretches to different avenues. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Pom?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I suppose it comes down to like how much do words affect people. I feel like we've got into like a weird realm because I know the EPL, they have the pundits corner, which I really like, and Sky steal it, where they kind of confront the journalist with the opinion. So the journalist gets put in front of a live audience, usually with 2 pundits. that disagree with him vehemently, and then the fans can ask the question. On the EPL website as well, they have the analysis corner, which is they'll take an article and break it down into fact, fiction, and kind of cover why someone would think that, but then the alternative. But I do also think that sport is a bit like life, isn't it, at the minute? Unless you are doing an article that's all sunshine and poppycock, you're not allowed the opinion anymore, are you? Like that's genuinely the society we have cultivated, and it's in sport massively. If you're not coming out and saying Harley Reid is 19 years old, 20 years old, he's a young kid, he's got his whole career, he had a good year last year, lay off him, you're going to get panned because it's bullying, isn't it? Straight away, someone says, could he do better? The pile-on is it's bullying, it's bullying, it's bullying, it's harsh. And I think, yeah, for me, it doesn't really distract me. But I am a generation removed from the generation that's playing. I'm 40 years old. But like to me, I thought Sheasel summed it up better. I knew the contracts I signed meant I was going to be critiqued. So I genuinely don't think it affects the players as much as it does the fans. I think it creates stir from the fans. The sad thing I think has died from it is no one can argue with intelligence anymore. You've only got to look at social media. When Kane Corns makes a comment, no one will spend 5 minutes debunking it with intelligence. It's Kane Corns is a flog. He's a failed fireman. No one can actually go, you know what? Let's just think about it. Is Sheasel a rubbish player? Getting easy touches. And if I don't think that, can I prove it? It goes straight to the thing. So I feel like it's a lost art. Pretty soon, it'll be pop-up book. I reckon in 10 years' time, we just won't have opinion pieces anymore. We'll just say everything's all brilliant. Don't worry about it. It's all G. So enjoy it while you've got it.
I don't think it's really about it's not really about the opinion though, is what I'm saying. It's more about it's almost like the AFL signing off on them trying to get Harley Reid out of West Coast. Because it's like, Terry, what's the thing when like, you know, in law, like the Herald Sun will turn off comments on on posts so they don't get in trouble sort of for what people can say. Like it's sort of like that, but the AFL is on the opposite, where they're signing off on these journalists saying Harley Reid, West Coast need to get rid of Harley Reid. Someone else has to go hard for Harley Reid. I don't know. It's just, I just saw it and I just thought it was a little bit.
You think they're planting ideas deliberately?
Yeah,
like planting the thought
subconsciously.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was a West Coast supporter, a passionate West Coast supporter, and I go onto the AFL website and I see the little implied opinion pieces on the AFL's website, I'm gonna think that the league's corrupt too.
That's exactly what. Yes, you've just verbalized what's been fucking in my head this whole time. Yeah,
like I'm
that's it.
I'm gonna think that too. So yeah,
but
I'm gonna think about the Vic bias, and I'm gonna think about how it kind of is
like it's a fact.
And there is a Vic bias, and we all get so caught up about this fugazi of this fair and equitable competition,
Yeah.
It's funny that father-son stuff is all suddenly a topic, and 5-6 months ago when Bassett was going at, everyone was going at him, and now everyone's agreeing with him because some other people are saying the same thing.
True.
At a different time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All the comments are like, oh, didn't Andrew Bassett say this at the BNF? And you all took a piss at him, now you're all agreeing with him. It's like, everyone's just depends on where the info comes from, Not what it is, but who says it.
It's a good point. Yeah.
How was the article worded? Because I'm not around it, and I'm on the website now. I'm trying to find it.
No, it was a video. It was the
video, right?
With that show he does with, is it Sarah Ollie or Nat Edwards, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
I think this one was with, what's his name? Barrett, though.
Oh, with Barrett. Okay. Yeah. As in, your point is like, keep that type of opinion to Channel 9,
to
Fox Footy,
yeah, to
your
other shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Then it looks
talk
like
about how
the
Harley
opinion's
Reid
coming via the AFL.
for AFL, yeah. Talk about how Harley Reid needs to, pull his head in or do better, or Sheasel needs to do better, or Dacre, whatever it is. But don't say, I really think, if there's an article that comes out on the AFL website and Barrett says, I really think that Tasmania need to, give Nick Dacos 10 years and $4 million a year. I think that would be a really good idea to boost the Tasmanian competition. Be like, is this getting signed off by that? Does the AFL agree with what he's saying here?
Do you think they? Yeah. But we've talked about this: clicks, views, revenue, exactly advertising. That all comes ahead of. Oh, is this right or wrong? I don't know.
Yeah,
that's kind of fifth in the tier of the checklist. But it, does it have more weight because it's from, like you said, if Barrett said that he didn't play AFL, it's different. But Lloyd is a legend, played a lot of football. Does his opinion have a little bit more weight? Maybe to, maybe even just to wake Harley Reid up. Is that can you flip it on its head and go, maybe he's putting it there to wake him up because an AFL legend is saying I need to leave, but maybe I need to pull my head in. Because he's an ex-player, you take it with maybe more weight, more importance.
Yeah, I guess that's what comes down to kind of like what Pom was saying. What Harley Reid reads into it. Yeah. Interesting.
I agree that it should be impartial. I think the AFL, it should either be impartial and just looking at the website now, they've got the speculation about Willie Rioli. Should that have been a fine? I think that's okay. But I think it's an opinion piece that's countered. If that was taking your word for it, if Lloyd said that, if they said the article was, should Harley Reid leave Eagles? And then it was what Lloydie said, and then maybe two other people saying, counter-arguing it, saying, no, I'd like to see Harley develop here. I'd say, okay. But I agree with you. I feel like the AFL actually encourages Kane Corns' silly opinions or encourages it because it's revenue, isn't it? I don't... Yes. We live in a fugazi with the AFL. We care about the players' mental health and well-being until we can probably make a little bit more money from the betting companies by running an article lambasting this 19-year-old kid and running 6-point bet articles with it. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them things, and I agree with what you're saying, but you'd be totally changing the ecosystem of the AFL.
100%. Yeah, no, it'll never change.
We need a debate show. We get both sides of a specific topic, There's no debates. It's all one person has an opinion, then they all agree and say the same thing in different words. Where's the back and forth? Where's that? No, you're wrong, Kane. This is what I think. You don't get that much. They all just kind of they reaffirm each other's beliefs.
It's funny you say that because the closest we've got is Kane Corns and Luke Hodge, right?
Yeah, and Rui as well does it a little bit.
I did that video last week when Terry put the suggestion across my desk, and I went and did research, and I watched the whole Hodge versus Kane Corns thing, and it was fascinating that the article that the AFL produced, so you could click and look at it, was merely billed as a fight. Hodge tells him to shut up again, round 2. But watching the full 10 minutes, Luke Hodge articulated a counter-argument in a measured, controlled, fascinating fashion, going to the lengths of what a halfback does, what his coach would want for him, what the development is, what Clarko will be expecting from uncontested possessions, and why Kane was wrong. And Kane was on the back foot the entire time. And I'm like, the AFL has done him an injustice by just selling it as Kane Corns tells him to shut up and he's an idiot. He's actually done more than that. He's made him look foolish because he's proved that Kane said it for the clicks and couldn't articulate a counter-argument. And I'm like, that's what we should present. You can have the opinion, but it comes unstuck if you don't have the evidence. And I was like, so I was fascinated that Hodge made him look stupid, but all the AFL world will show is him just saying, do you want me to tell you again, in reference to him telling him to shut up the week before. And it downplays Hodge's brilliant work.
Yeah. I like it. I'm going to go next, and I've wrestled with what I want to talk about. So are you guys across the sounding board, Craig Hutchison and Damien Barrett, their podcast?
No.
Not really.
So
no.
essentially, they field questions from their audience, and Hutchie made a really interesting point and has a really strong opinion on some certain things. And he was talking about content creators, podcasters, the way he labeled it, and he was talking about how he is seeing an uprise in podcasters, fan channels, Instagram personalities, etc., using AFL footage without paying a license for it. So I think he was essentially referring to people like Dan Gorringe and, putting your face over footage. And his argument was that, him and SEN, like, they pay a certain amount of money per year. They get broadcast rights to call the games on radio, etc., but they're not allowed to film their actual broadcast, their radio broadcast with video, and they're not allowed to post clips of the footage with their commentary over it. And he made a really interesting point, and he said the AFL haven't taken content creators seriously enough, and we're now in this position where you've got hundreds of TikTok accounts, Instagram accounts, YouTube channels, which use AFL footage without a license. And I think this is a landmark point in creators, AFL. Where do we sit? Are we media? Are we not? I think it's one of the first times we as a conglomerate have been called out. I don't think what he's saying is wrong. But what do you make of, I actually think we are living in the golden era right now. All of us I mean, I don't think, none of us use footage in our content anyway, apart from Instagram. You might find clips, you're able to find, that sort of thing. But do you think the AFL will try and crack down on absolutely everyone? I think it's too late. And I think they've not taken it seriously enough. And I actually don't think they should take it seriously enough, but I do see it from his point of view. SEN would pay a lot of money for the rights to broadcast the games, but they can't use game footage in their clips on social media.
Yeah, I think they missed the boat. I think they're 2 to 3 years late, to be honest. Maybe just after lockdown. I feel like there was an influx of a lot of these content creators. We were all in lockdown and we all started making content to, stay sane. There's too many now. Like you said, I think they probably could have made an example of some bigger accounts. I think they might have, didn't they? With is it Cinch Footy or something like that? Something happened there?
Cinch Footy was because they had the
AFL logo.
AFL in their name. So
right. So it wasn't anything to do with the footage at all. Interesting. So that was probably...
Is that what it was? I thought it was the footage.
If that wasn't the footage...
Might have been a bit of both. But if you have AFL Central, there's an inference that you are AFL affiliated.
Yeah, of course. I think they've missed the boat. I think there's too many now. I think that whether we like it or not, I think what we do is inspired some people to do some more things, and it's just going to continue to snowball. What are they going to do? It's good for them. I think that's the translation they've got to take from it is this is promotion, this is growth, this is engagement. Whether people profit from it or not, it shouldn't be a problem. No one's going to match what they're making from it, but it is going to promote people to go to games, to create discussions. I think the NBA do it really well in the US, and I think obviously the UK, I think are pretty lenient on that sort of thing as well. Yeah, so I think we talk about how archaic the AFL is when it comes to on-field rules and the way they run their organization, but when it comes to media, they got to get with the times, and if they kind of let us grow and even just work with us, I think that's a really good sign of things to come. And I do think we are in that golden era.
That's what he said.
As Terry mentioned.
He referred to us as scrapers. We scrape the content online.
Well, just because he's not fucking, he's a multimillionaire and buying NBL teams and cricket teams and stuff, and he can't hire someone to do his content that well for him.
It was just so interesting. It was the first time that I heard the industry kick up about it. So,
and like you, go Pom.
Sorry, I was going to say it's fascinating. Craig Hutchinson calling people scrappers, scraping the bottom of the barrel. I mean, this is a man that his company has ran at a $10 million loss, and He's had to scrape the bottom of the moral barrel to sell his soul and his multiple companies from his egregious overspending and his lack of financial and business nous by getting into bed with betting companies is the only way that he sustains his fraudulent lifestyle. I find that quite fascinating. I would say to Craig Hutchinson, maybe if he gets down off his middle-class white horse and maybe looks about trying to see what the people want, maybe his business wouldn't be at risk of Commonwealth Bank every 5 seconds foreclosing the loans that underwrite his falling media empire. That's just me personally. Like, get better, stop tricking and monopolizing the financial loopholes in which the reason you have fame is because you do that. But as for rights, I think what's the beautiful thing about me personally and the people that I work with in this industry is that we create the discussion that we're longing for in the AFL. And this kind of links to Luke's point. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm tired of fat, middle-aged white guys telling me how I should view the sport. And if I dare think against them, the response is, I haven't seen your name in the record this week. When the game also, on the other token, is sold as the people's game. So, yeah, take away the media rights. Keep your stupid little stats behind a paywall that we can't have. But you'll find that the best analysts in this game aren't Danny Hoyne with his fictitious algorithm. They're people like myself, Dylan, Woody. These people that work hard to try and use their own stats to bring it to the people. It's people like you, Jake, and Swoop Terry that bring a fan's perspective and you can condense it without the emotion and explain what you're feeling and what you're seeing and creating an environment so the fan can have a say. Not like Snapper on SEN, where he's paraded when they lose as a joke. And that's all they give him the airtime for. Look at the Carlton fan getting angry. You give the voice to your fan base to speak and to be heard, which is what the media used to stand for. Present the truth and be the voice of the people, as opposed to be the educator and the sultan of the people. So, you know what? If he wants a war with his shitty little SEN group, he can have it. Because I know for a fact, I know all of his pundits. Us four here know more in our little finger than his little soppy little puppeteers do. So if he wants a war, there's only going to be one winner, and you're looking at the four of them. So I think what really the media needs to do is look at America, look at the United Kingdom, who are bringing these people in to be a voice, because we're no longer the working class people who are just going to F and blind and go, woe is me. We actually do love and enjoy the game, and we want to have more eyes on it. So, you know what? Fuck Hutchinson, big tit.
I just think it's
incredible.
Listen, the reality is this. All four of these channels that we own are growing, and there will come a point where we get viewed as too big before they start taking action. It's coming. The war is coming.
And I think that's the thing, right? They've left it so long where and kind of like what Jake was saying, that they could have done it a little bit earlier if they wanted to stop all this stuff. And look, I can, playing devil's advocate, and kind of like what you said as well, Terry. I can see where he's coming from. Right, we don't own the rights, but people, we're doing things that our own social media accounts like Collingwood and Carlton, St Kilda, whatever, aren't doing, or the AFL account isn't doing. Right, so we're doing our own sort of spin on it. So that's that one thing, but. It's like it's David and Goliath, really, right? They should be wanting to work with us, not against us. Can you imagine how, like again, Craig Hutchinson, right? Because that's the guy we're talking about. But can you imagine how bad it would make SEN look and Hutchinson look if it's Swoop Luke and Blue, they were all taken down by SEN because they didn't like what they were doing, and how bad it would make them look. And it's not like we've got 200 subscribers each. It would start an absolute war, and that's not being facetious or making a mountain out of a molehill. But there's hundreds of other channels that would be in the exact same position as us, and you take one down. Either one's going to pop up again, like chopping their head off a hydra. Two will pop up for everyone taken down, or everyone just bandies up, and it's a big revolution, because that's what's happening at the moment. And Pom said it, like the Premier League, right? One of the guys that I based my channel on, esteemed company from Manchester, does Manchester City stuff. On is it BBC? One of the sports channels in England. He goes on there because they want his fan perspective to talk before a Manchester City, Manchester United game. You know, what's Fox Footy and SEN and all these things, all these people doing, instead of having guys that have been out of the game for 40 years trying to talk about, they're watching 9 games a week. We're watching one game and going to training for one team. We know these teams like the back of our hand. They should be absolutely using us to their advantage and saying, look what we've got. We've got fucking, it's St Kilda, Carlton. We've got 2 of the biggest content creators for their respective teams. Here's half an hour of studio time where you'll be working with, you know, fucking Dunstall and whoever else is sort of on there. But it's gotten to the point where they're not even going to bother doing that. I think KO tried to, or Fox Footy tried to, with their get a commentator in or whatever that bullshit was. And, you know, that's not going to say anything on that now, but that's a story for another day. But they try to do that, but it's too far gone now.
Yeah. I also find when they try and bring I remember I did an interview with Jared Healy and Sam McClure on 3AW one time, and I remember Jared sort of like, he didn't know anything about me or what I do, all the fan cams, and he was just sort of briefed on. He was like, all right, why don't we pretend like it's the siren's gone? And he sort of played it up. There's just this attitude about the fans, and we're just stupid, which I 100%. Love. Like, I love. Great. Think of me as the underdog. It's awesome. But to be fair to Craig, he did say, and he did show a lot of respect for the fan channels and the podcasters. And his point is that I actually agree with him. I think the solution to his issue is let SEN run game footage over their commentary when they want to post clips online. That, you know.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because SEN's been the same since I've been here. It's the same shit repackaged. Like, I don't think there is a market anymore for radio phone back at the end of the game at all, because we know what it's used for. It's not used like you do, Terry, to give the voice of the fans. That's what we used to be told it was. But, you know, it's interesting because I know for a fact Snapper calls them when they win. Carlton win. Do they get him on the show? No, they don't, because Snapper going, oh, the boys did well this weekend, doesn't sell, does it? It's not revenue. But him going mental, rating the people. So, like, for me, I wouldn't work with them. Like, genuinely, I would much rather Woody and me make some time and we do our own analysis show with stats and numbers, because I feel like what you're seeing now is there is a distrust in the media. And every article, every AFL organisation is slightly injected with a political ideology as well. The amount of times you do it. I never forget, one of the funniest things I've ever seen was I was listening to SEN once and they were talking about Jamara Ugle-Hagan and the pressure of modern day sportsmen and the darkness that they can come across, drugs, alcohol. And halfway through they go, oh, now let's hear a break from our sponsors. And it's like, Bet365. It's much better when you gamble with free. And I'm like, hang about, you're talking about the trials and tribulations of having money and being a star, and you've just gone to an ad break to infect the rest of us. Everything. So I feel like we've got to do it anyway. Honestly, I feel like that is the right way. This is why people like us, because I only speak for myself, but I assume because I love you three, you don't have a hidden agenda. You're doing it because you love the game and you want to talk about the game with people that also have that passion. We aren't corrupted. You ain't going to see an ad break from me from a betting agency or an allusion to a conflict in the Middle East. You're going to hear me talk about football.
Yeah. So I just think, lads, strap in.
Put those gloves on. Put
There's a
those
war
fucking
coming.
gloves
We need some Avengers music or something, Terry. Have we got something?
war.
Can you play
We-
something or not?
We do need something. I don't have anything right now. What have I got? What do I have?
What does
I'll tell you I do
Captain
have.
America say before they all appear again? Swoop?
Avengers.
Oh no, he's
Also-
like, oh no, it's his other mate, isn't it? On your left or whatever it is.
On your
that
left,
big
yeah,
line.
Falcon.
Yeah,
On your left.
yeah, Falcon.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
My
Yeah,
boy.
I guess if you're a viewer, subscribe to your fan channels, get around your fan channels, hit the like button on all the streams, like just continue to do your bit because every little bit helps. Now, I don't know whose channel this is
Yes.
from, but Luke has donated $5 to the same.
Looks like a Pies fan.
Oh, I think,
Oh,
Would I be
it's
right?
popped up on.
I think he's done it to all of ours.
Oh,
where
really?
it goes.
Yeah, I saw it.
Nice.
That's unreal.
I think.
Oh,
No
Thank
way.
he left Pom out. All right. Well,
Did he? Oh,
definitely a Collingwood fan.
Oh, there we go.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I was about to give you a serve, but well done, Luke. Much love.
Yes.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Luke.
That's coffee. Awesome.
And then Emmanuel Stone Teacher with a super sticker. I don't know whose channel this was on. So yeah, well done. Thank you.
What a legend
Yeah,
Emmanuel
awesome.
is as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tommy's about to go for the jugular.
I'm fired up. Look, we had the Mathesons, now it's Hutchinson. I'm after.
Yeah. So anyway,
Uh,
that's my question topic for the week. Lads, let's go. I don't know. Who wants to go next?
I'll go because I hate going last.
All right.
Died.
Tom always loves to come first.
You need to stop DMing
Some-
man. This is... Welcome to our new show. You like a stat, and we've got a stat for you. It's 2025. It's a year where transition football is king. Scoring is king. No more kicking and marks. No more boring stuff. And we're looking at a ranking here of teams that move the ball from the defensive half to a score by percentage. How many of their defensive half moves do the boys score? And this is ranked from first to last. So we're looking at which team in the league is the best from moving the ball from the back half of the ground to the 18th. I will let you all have a guess where you can say a team, and we'll do a higher or lower for you to work it out. So I'll start with Jake.
Mhm.
Where do you feel like a team is on this list?
I'm gonna go West. I'll just pick a team and a number.
Yeah, and
Yep.
yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'll go Geelong 4.
Geelong 4. I like this. Right. So you went Geelong 4. I can say Geelong are a little bit lower than that. Where do you think they are, lads? Where do you think they are? Where do we think? If they're lower than 4th, where do you think Geelong are?
6.
7.
7th? No. If I told you they're just above Carlton, would that help?
Oh, I thought Carlton were last. Oh.
Actually, you're quite high, aren't you? So they'd be 5?
So they're lower than 7th.
Oh, they're lower than 7. Okay.
Oh, just a bit lower than. Just a bit lower.
10th.
10th. Well done. So Geelong,
Wow, I thought they were much higher.
the 10th side, right? So let's remove that. And Geelong, so you know, they score from a defensive half exit, scores 12.8% of the time this year.
Wow.
Pretty impressive. Luke,
Okay.
throw a team out and we'll guess where they are.
Collingwood will be second.
Close, very close. Just a little bit lower.
Would be top 4. It'd have to be third then.
Yep, third. Collingwood score a staggering 15.54 of their defensive half
bread and butter.
exits
Bread and
become
butter, baby.
score. Terry.
Adelaide first.
Dun, dun. Surprisingly, they are the top turnover side, but no, they're not.
Oh.
They are lower.
Fourth.
But good guess. Fourth, a little bit lower than fourth.
Fifth. Sixth.
Jesus.
Seventh.
Sixth. So the Adelaide Crows, although being a turnover side that score a staggering 64 points a game from their turnover game and a staggering 47 points from the defensive half, they only score 14.8% of the time they leave their defensive half, which just shows in a way how wasteful they are. If they that could be phenomenal, considering that they score so heavily from it.
So just to quantify, this is the percentage that a team scores from a defensive 50 exit. Okay.
We've got a lot of people in the comments saying Bulldogs first. Is that, would that be correct?
Ooh, no,
Close.
they are in the top 5 though. It's a good call though. Good call, Bulldogs. Well done. They are very efficient.
Brisbane 2. Oh,
really?
Wow.
The number 1 scoring defensive half to a score side, 15.9% of their defensive exits result in a score. You'll be shocked at number 2. I was shocked. This is why I thought this stat was interesting.
St Kilda?
You're close, though, with St Kilda, Terry.
Number 2. Percentage of scores from the defensive 50.
And it works out. Yes.
Huh.
Really?
Interesting.
So Fremantle are one of the more wasteful sides in this stat. They score just 3 defensive exits on average, less than Brisbane, 15.7%. But they are one of the worst scoring sides from defensive half. So it's a very good game, but it doesn't happen enough.
So they're just inaccurate, or they're just wasteful.
Well, this stat, if you're high up and low on that, it means you're very overused the football. So if anyone watches my reviews of the week, that's my complaint about Fremantle, that they have the fuck about, find out ball movement, that they overuse it way too much.
How about West Coast last?
Terry! He's
No
done
way.
this too long.
No way they're last.
So of their this is a very dangerous stat if you rank low in this and you're rubbish, but they are one of the worst scoring defensive half sides in the league, and they only score from 10% of their defensive exits.
Okay. Can I make a weird guess and go Hawthorn 14th or 15th?
Hawthorn are in the top 8 of this stat, but you are correct in your assumption that they're probably the worst performing side of the sides you would expect.
Interesting.
I'm going to go Bombers 13.
Bombers 13. You're good at this.
Whoa!
Now that's actually very impressive.
Damn, that's really good.
Wait, Doggies 4th.
Doggies are, Terry, the 4th highest percentage from a defensive half exit. 1 exit less than the Pies.
Gold Coast 7th.
Gold Coast 7th. Just a little bit worse than that. My favourite team are 7. There's a clue.
Your favourite team?
Sarcasm. Favourite team as well.
Oh, GWS.
Oh, you're sorry,
Yeah.
just to digress for a second. The GWS frauds are coming out, aren't they, Pommy?
Fraud watch.
0-3 the last 3 weeks.
Yep. So someone actually sent me round 0 when I did the review of your Pies, and I said that they were frauds. Even
That's
after
true.
that,
Yeah,
there was a
yeah.
few comments in there that says I need to piss off back to Pommyland. You're not asking me to piss off now, are you? Hey, frauds. But you're doing very well. You're doing very well. Who do you think the fifth side is?
Then it must be Hawthorn, right?
No,
No,
this will
Hawthorn are eighth.
surprise you. But
Hawthorn
Port.
eighth.
Port.
Interesting.
no, this will surprise you because this is statistically they're not as bad as you think, and a few
Melbourne.
people in chat are killing it.
Sydney.
Sydney are the fifth most damaging back half side to create a score. A staggering 15% on the nose of their defensive exits become a score.
I'm gonna go. I reckon we're lower than the Bombers.
You're not.
We're not,
are
okay.
slightly ahead.
11.
Carlton 11.
Carlton 11. We are indeed. Carlton, for a team that dominates in turnover and turnover scores, are very poor from scoring from defensive half and also only score 12% of their defensive half exits.
So Saints are 12 then.
The Saints are just slightly beneath them.
Yeah, how do you like that, Jake?
What's Cooper Sharman going to do now?
Oh, I mean, that's
Get
probably
the ball to him.
that's probably because they're using Caminiti down the back.
Hawks
So
eighth.
who do we? There is a surprise side. You would be shocked at the order of 8 and 9, but one of
Tigers.
them,
Tigers 8th.
no, but one of the sides that isn't featured in the top 8 is a side that is heavily talked about as having the most potent back half team in the league.
I'll check them
Melbourne?
Nah, I wouldn't be.
Think who's the Cooper Sharman of backlines at the minute, who gets a lot of glaze because they've
The
spent a lot of money on
disrespect.
backline.
The disrespect.
No, I'm saying
You're not going to
talking
you're not gonna
about
say
glaze.
North.
though.
You're not going to say North.
I was gonna-
are you?
With Sheasel. And
They are a good
okay.
team, but you would expect them to feature very high considering the league talks about their back half being the best back half in the league.
Oh, geez, I thought it would have been us or Giants, but is there another
Geelong?
team? No, Geelong are there. They're 10.
Geelong are over there.
Geelong at 10th.
So 8 and 9 are really obvious if you think about it because they're very high up on the league. But
Hawthorn and
yeah,
Hawthorn
Yeah.
and Suns.
yeah, Suns, a team that
Oh, the
Dan
Suns,
Hoyne
yes.
says are the most potent rebounding side in the league for all that talent, and they do score a lot from the back half. They only score 13.6% of the time that they exit out their back half.
Oh, wow. So this is leaving Port. This is going to be like Port,
Port, Melbourne,
Tigers,
Richmond.
North,
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
So you think Port are next? You would be right.
Yeah. And then,
These?
and then,
Yep.
and then Tigers? Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. And North.
North.
Just
North,
should have
I
just said
think
no. Just should have said no at the end of the point.
So really so that's a really interesting stat because if you look at that and then if we inverse that, Adelaide are the number one defensive half scoring side in the league, and they have got Flemington straight between first and second as well.
Wow.
Fremantle are the next best side, and they are in a real good position on this ladder. But then it's GWS, Hawthorn, Sydney, Brisbane, Geelong, Collingwood, Gold Coast. And it's quite interesting that if you look there, just shows how efficient some of them teams are. Because it's a real big key scoring zone, this. This is a huge scoring zone in today's game. So, LS, mate, come and see me after class, gold star. But just shows it's quite harsh. It's quite a hard league to be good at, and some teams will surprise you. So, Sydney are a really interesting one. They've still got the weapons to hurt you, even though the results at this stage aren't really mirroring reality. But I thought that was an interesting stat.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was. Very nice.
It is.
I like it. Also, Emmanuel Stone teacher has given us all a little dono. Thank
Oh.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool game. Now,
Yeah, that was great.
I'm telling you, keep an eye out for that stat in the next 48 hours and see if
On
Yep.
on other show, like big shows.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. True.
Well, I did put my spies to work, and they actually confirmed to me that Daniel Hoyne's segment has done a Dylan Alexander video, 2 of mine, 24 hours after. And if you go back and watch last week, Woody did an episode on Saints TV. And he almost word for word brings out the stats and the narrative that he presented on your show and uses the same stats. So, Danny Hoyne, if you're watching, buddy,
Come on,
mate.
Hoyne.
Come for a chat.
Embrace, mate. We're friendly here. Come on.
Funnily enough, for fucking SEN, right? Funnily enough, for SEN he works for. Interesting, Mr. Hutchinson. Interesting.
Or help me work out a way, Craig, if you are watching Hutcho, of tricking the banks to pay my debts. That'd help me out.
It was crazy when we talked about how there's too many football shows, and then within 24 hours there was articles on that. They were talking about it on Channel 9, and I was like, you couldn't script this. It's crazy.
I did joke that they're going to do a show pretty soon where Dan Hoyne will be dressed in a wooden jumper like Woody in front of a blue screen thing. He'll suddenly have a Pom accent and he'll have Dylan Alexander's glasses. And I was like, he'll just merge into all 3 of us. You know what I mean? He'll be like, hey up, everyone. How you doing? Hoyne here. And I'm like, oh, hey up. He's stolen it from all 3 of us. He's become us.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. All right. So, Jake, what have you got, mate? What do you got for us?
I don't know how, but I was going down a front bar rabbit hole yesterday, and it just kept going through key interviews that they'd done, and a Gary Lyon one came up, and it showed a highlight of him in his heyday kicking torps from 60 just for fun, and he would kick them all the time, right? And they kind of asked him, do you think players are capable of doing that now? And he said, it'd be easier now than when I was doing it, because when I was doing it, it was 1 football for 4 quarters, waterlogged. Now they got 10 footies, perfectly fine. Better shoe, better footwear, absolutely. And then they're like, would you as a coach encourage these players to go for those shots, to have a bit of flair and go for the torps, right? Because you don't see it much anymore, if ever, really, apart from maybe at quarter time siren and a player's 70 out and they go for it. And he's like, absolutely not. I'm not coaching that. So that got me thinking a little bit in terms of the team first mantra, right? So I've tried to word this as best as I can. Should individuals suppress their flair for the sake of the system, or is that killing what makes players special? Because we talk about role players, we talk about guns. What's the clear difference, really? It's that, to me, a player like Naz has license to show that flair more than another player that might still have some flair. So is flair kind of sapping that specialness out of players? And do you think there's still a place for that in a sort of a system-based team like a St Kilda and whatnot? Because you hear about it all the time, right? Playing the percentages, he went for the snap, but he should have gone the handball. Sometimes it's obvious. Other times you're like, isn't that what makes this game great? That a player backs himself, he goes for those moments, he tries to dodge the player in front of him, tries to pirouette out of traffic instead of doing the basics. How boring would the game be otherwise?
I reckon a great system is one that utilizes the strengths and the instincts of these types of players.
Yeah.
I think of Collingwood as correct me if I'm wrong. When I watch Collingwood, I think they play players to their strengths. And they allow for the players with the flair to do the thing with the flair. Like, sometimes it doesn't come off, but I don't know. My perception of watching the Pies is that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we play, and because we play chaotic football as well, You see that a lot. Players taking on other players. Like a good example is a couple of years ago, Jack Crisp running through the middle. I think it was the Essendon game. I can't remember. It was one game that we were winning by right at the end, needed to win. Just running through, not having any idea what he was doing, but he had that flair to sort of get around. He had that backing, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. You know.
Yeah, if you get a chance, watch Connor Downey. So he left Hawthorn 2022, and he's working with Hughes now, getting them into the AFL system, preparing. And there's a fascinating bit of footage where he's talking to some of the NGA Academy boys, and he tells them their big lesson he learned, where he said that he allowed himself to start playing a way in which he didn't get drafted for. So he started to self-coach himself out of taking the kick on, of dashing out of contests because he wanted to fit into the structure. And that is a very good segue to my background, golf coaching. It's very hard sometimes that you read from the textbook and you want to make a young child play safety first golf because it's going to be easier to get their handicap down better in. Once you start taking away the natural flair and ability, sometimes that's all they've got and everything else breaks down. Everything else breaks down. So I think a great system, exactly what Terry said. You want Nick Dacos doing the overhead handball, right? You want to make sure he's defensively sound and stuff, but you want to give him that license because eventually that will change the game. That will unlock a game. If you start coaching that out, and to Terry's point, we see with our boys, don't we, Terry? We watch the draft. I show you these highlights of these players being sexy. 2 years at Carlton, they are safety first footballers straight away. They ain't taking that kick on. So I think it's got to be, and I think a great system will hide the deficiencies because flair wins your football games, doesn't it? Like them stupid moments Nick Dacos does, that give and go he did against Brisbane, back half of the ground, surrounded by 4 players, and he flicks that handball out, takes off, then flicks the handball out again. Them moments win you premierships. If he went safety first, bombed it down the line, he'd just be another footballer.
Is it different though? Because we're making an example out of Collingwood, and they're near the top pointy end of the ladder and winning premierships. But say a team like North, like it's easy to say when you're winning, yeah, Flair's great. But then when you're getting pantsed every week, like a West Coast or a North, is there does that change things a little bit, or do you have to just back in the players and go just play for fun? And then we'll coach that discipline and that structure around the flair? Or do you rip the flair out, get back to basics, and then can you bring it back in? Or do you run a risk of losing it completely at that point, like you said, with the drafting and that Carlton example?
That's a great example. It's a great question because losing in performance matters.
Yeah.
I think if you watch Richmond, Uze is doing a really good job. He's got 2 guys there who can make shit happen in a blink of an eye. Seth Campbell's one of them, my Tasmanian boy. And I really enjoy watching him because you can see he's got that defensive craft now, which he didn't have. But there's also that license for him to peel off his halfback, get involved in the midfield because he does moments of magic. And Sam Layla is another player that I do worry about at times because I feel like they're really focusing on him getting behind the ball, and you can see he has that urge. So I think there is a happy median, but I'll look at Paddy Dow. I'll always stand by this. Paddy Dow was the right player, the wrong time for the Blues. And I know his junior coach, he was very critical of Carlton Football Club, saying that, I don't know what the fuck you've done to him. You've killed his natural skills. And I think you look at what he was as a young player, we probably would draft that now. Quick burst player, gets the ball moving forward, very direct. And we had to have him defensive. We had to have him to be able to do what Hewitt does and Chera does. So when you look at it, Chera was probably the player we needed then, but now we'd ideally like the offensive from Dow. I think you can run the risk. I think a great team would just draft a big body to protect him, wouldn't they, Terry? That's why we like Jagger. Jagger's at that situation now where he doesn't have to have 20 tackles a game because we've actually recruited players to do that. So I think, there's a happy median, but if you just want another piece of the puzzle, draft and pick 30, 40.
Yeah, like Sam Mitchell's a good example as well with Hawthorn. He let them play Hollywood football and they got pantsed, and now they still play Hollywood football and they're winning games. So they've still got that natural instinct plus the game plan to go with it. It makes me think of Jack Billings even, Alan Richardson days. You know, when we drafted him, his highlight reel was ridiculous. You know, he played with amazing X factor in the front half, kicking goals for fun. And we saw it for maybe one game against the Dogs. And then otherwise, we expected him to push up to the contest to win more contested ball. It's like, that's not his job. You know, and you're training players to do things that they don't naturally do as juniors. You run the risk of really breaking them.
I will say this, though. There's two players who play for your club who I would say are two of the most naturally X-factor players I have ever laid two eyes on in their draft year. One of them is Lance Collard.
Caminiti. Oh.
No. One of them is Lance Collard.
Wait, who? Lance Collard. Yeah, Lance Collard. Yeah, he's a good player.
Where did Lance Collard go in the draft?
And I was going to...
No, continue.
Yep. And the other one is Mateus Philippou, right? Now, Mateus Philippou, one of his draft knocks was he didn't defend. He was a bit of a one-trick pony. He liked the attack. And you can see Ross has managed to keep the sexy, but he's added that defensive responsibility. It's almost like there's a risk reward. I'll let you take off from your position, get that ball, and kick from 55 out of position on the proviso you also knuckle down and work on this. Collard, I was watching him the other week, and I remember Lance because he was one of our draft profiles. It was him or Moya, I believe, in the second tier, Terry. And one thing we liked about Lance was he had no defensive craft. And that was what I wanted at Carlton. We've got Fogarty doing the hard stuff. Have someone to have a bit of fun. But I watch him. He does chase down. There is a bit of discipline, but he's still got that license. When that ball hits the deck, if you see that opportunity to run to the pocket and kick a banana, boy, have some fun. So I think Ross, that's his critic, isn't it? Fremantle doesn't play the youth, doesn't trust the young players. I would counter that from St Kilda. He has let them play football and still have their sex appeal, but they've added discipline, which makes them very rounded footballers.
And you see that as well at Collingwood, the difference between Buckley and Craig McRae, just that different coaching style, like not only the sort of game plan, but, you know, the way that we play now, you're not seeing that under Buckley. You're seeing a very regimented, you know, sort of see ball, get ball, and do what you sort of do the team thing. But with Craig under Craig McRae, you know, like you said, Bob, you know, Nick Dacus is handballing over his head in hopes that someone is going to be there because he knows someone is going to be there. Pendlebury's doing the same, and you have all these guys. Someone just mentioned Bobby Hill as well. You're not seeing that flair from a Buckley side, especially in his early days when he was like, you know, you have to sleep with the football in your bed to be able to play in this Collingwood side. And I think that's just the way the game's sort of going now for most teams, I think.
To speak about explicit Empress as well, I won't name the player, I won't throw him under the bus, but he was a big soccer fan. I interviewed him a while back, and we had this conversation actually about, I told him that I was at the Hawthorn BNF. I'd gone to the Hawthorn BNF with a mate of mine, and they were all doing TikTok dances, and they were trying to get Sam Mitchell to do it. And Sam Mitchell's like, nah, I'll record it, go for your life. And I was like, you watch your football like I do, and are you going to steal an EPL celebration? And he said to me word for word, Voss isn't a big fan of the pre-done celebrations. And about 6 weeks later, they had CJ on a show, and they asked him, do you plan the celebrations? And he used this comment that Mitchell doesn't mind us doing it, but we have to complete training and do it in our own time. And he always says there's a punishment, coffees or buying lunch. If you plan a celebration and don't do it that evening, you don't do it that weekend. And I was like, that is how you play to the modern day player. Have your fun, right? But you make sure you check all the boxes first and then make it a little game and embrace them and be like, you know what, though, if you look like a dickhead, because you planned this training, you're buying everyone lunch next week. And
Yeah,
you make
that's great.
it fun. And you make
Yeah.
and I think that's the best. I'd love to see it. Me and Terry complain about this all the time. When Carlton kick a goal, it's like fucking being at a morgue, isn't it? Some of the players. And I've got CJ freaking busting out TikTok dances. And Collingwood, Bobby Hill. Bobby Hill looks like he's having fucking fun, man. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
I love Bobby Hill's celebration. So that makes me sad. Like I think that's a big part of it as well. Enjoying yourself makes you better.
Totally.
If you hate it, you're never going to do it.
And sort of what a good example of that is, I don't know if you guys follow the NFL on Instagram, but they put through a compilation of, they do the touchdowns and stuff, and they do their little dances and stuff. I saw one from I can't remember the team. It might have been the Eagles, but they were choreographing these dances over a couple of weeks in like a dance studio in front of a mirror. So when I think it was the NSYNC one, that when they hit a touchdown, they did that NSYNC bye sort of dance. There was like 6 or 7 of them. Like, I know it's a bit different because they're scoring, a touchdown once or twice a game, whatever it is. But yeah, you can have that flair and that fun, but you can still win games of football.
Yeah. It's that balance.
Yeah.
Balance.
I like it. Luke, I have a question.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's got that look on his face.
Who wins on Friday and why?
I was like, "What? Who's playing Friday?" Interesting.
First pot shot.
Yeah.
What
It's not
teams have
Collingwood.
got? What teams have got Friday night football that are in the top 4? No one. I think I don't see how St Kilda drop this, honestly. After what they did to Fremantle, I can't see St Kilda dropping this game.
Oh, he's setting me up here.
And they're going to be my lock for the week as well.
Yeah, he's setting me up. Yep. There's the kiss of death right there if I've ever seen it.
No, they're not going to be my lock. But no, I do think I think it's going to be a good game, close game. But I think St Kilda, Marvel, seeing what they did to Fremantle, seeing what
MCG. Spud's game.
St Kilda,
Spud's game,
MCG. Still St Kilda.
Okay.
I prefer
Time for lock of the week.
Lock of the week. All right. What are the games?
You can all attest to this. I messaged the group chat and I said, I don't know how and I don't know why, but I think Freo will beat Collingwood.
Yes.
And that was before the outs. I still don't know why or how, but I just think Freo was like the
pretty safe
worst.
lock.
What's all the outs for, by the way? I keep hearing all these outs. What's going on?
Pendles, Myercheck, DeGoey, and Maynard all managed.
5-day break?
Sorry, Myercheck, 5-day. Myercheck has an abdominal injury, but these were Craig McRae today was saying that these were touted to be managed months ago. It's not like it's just
it's not okay.
All of a sudden they've just planned them all out.
I have a question, Luke. Is my boy Charlie West debuting, or is he actually injured?
It's a hard one. They're going to take him to WA. He didn't train on the weekend. I was there at training today. Had a good training session. With Myercheck out, you would think he would debut. I think he still does, unless they're bringing in Jeremy Howe to play up forward, which I doubt. I think West will debut. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Charlie West.
He's good football.
Charlie West.
Suns Dogs. That's going to be a good one.
My
In Darwin.
My lock is going to be Essendon over Sydney.
Ooh.
At Marvel.
How many locks are you having? Saints are a lot.
Oh, no. Saints were my lock. It'll be Essendon over Marvel.
Just completely gaslighted.
Oh, I'm gonna lock. I'll lock the Tigs against West Coast at the G. They're gonna smash them. The yellow and black. They're gonna be up and about.
Against who? Sorry.
The Eagles. Tigers
Eagles.
against the Eagles. Yeah, I'm going to lock
Jesus.
it. Tigers by 30 plus.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
Mom
Yeah.
the Tigers.
Yeah.
I shall lock in. There's only one team in South Australia. That's the mighty Crom. Are going to absolutely dick Michael Voss B team out in AO in the showdown. The Crows are back, baby. Everyone tried to get me to call them fraud allayed. I told you they're real. They're going to prove it.
Once they flogged Carlton, they're real. Good week to say they're real, isn't it?
That's French for stop a horse. I was on Adelaide round 1 and I called GWS frauds round 0. Everyone tried to get me to turn against them last week and I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't because I looked
Devil's advocate, though. Would we be surprised if Port just got up for this like they did against Hawthorn and battered them? Would we be surprised? Because this is what Port do, don't they?
Oh, you'd be surprised, but I just
they get thumbed, they smash teams, but I think Adelaide would be absolutely shocked if they.
I think they're the real deal in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
You can only have one fraud per state, and it's Port fraud Adelaide, I'm afraid.
All right. Interesting.
The D's, does anyone give the D's chance?
We're playing in the fraud city derby, St Kilda and Carlton. One of them, whoever loses that will add fraud to their name.
Nah, I disagree.
What do you mean?
Oh.
If we lose to Carlton up and about, we're not frauds. Like
you're about up and about. We just come off a 60-point upgrade.
We got
You'll be up and about. You'll be up and about.
Yeah, because that's what happens when you.
No, I'm just saying if we lost, I wouldn't say we're frauds. 4 and 5 after losing to Carlton. I don't think we'd be frauds. I'd be pissed, but
okay. So if Carlton lose to you, are we frauds?
Well, you would be 3 and 6. That's different to us being 4 and 5. I think. I'm just stating facts, aren't I? Jeez, Swoop, say something quick. Say something, mate.
Gold Coast, Western Bulldogs going to be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Gold Coast, yeah, that's going to be close.
It's you know what it is? It's the fear factor of this show starting next Tuesday, and Jake's got those fucking sunnies on. And but it's that.
I wouldn't have the sun. I'm not. I can say right now, I will not have the sunnies on. I will not have a red wine in hand when that show starts. I'm not that bad, Jesus.
No, you're not bad.
I'll enjoy it on my channels. I won't give it here. Don't worry about that. We'll be looking towards West Coast at that point next Tuesday night.
Yeah, you won't mention it at all. You'll have the fucking.
You know what? It'll
tie.
You will hate it more if I don't say anything. You will hate it more if I don't say anything. You will want me to say it.
Oh yeah,
you're acting like there's every chance that this all comes back anyway. There's every chance you win. You might. This is a 50-50 in my books. This is an absolute 50-50.
Why every time we play one of you two mount to the top, you have to gaslight it and go, I'm a little bit worried about this one. I've actually got someone to care for the dog this weekend. I don't know if I'll be in a mental state to deal with it.
Nah. What, you don't think it's a 50-50?
Absolutely not.
Really?
Genuinely, clip this. We are a fucking joke of a football club if we lose to fucking St Kilda. And that's all due respect to you. We're meant to be here. You're meant to be here. If it's a 50-50 game, Michael Voss should do the right thing and resign now and hand it over to someone that thinks it's a 70-30. And that's with respect to St Kilda. But we are here. We're meant to be.
Are you there,
here.
though? Are you? No, yeah, you're meant to be there. By
right?
who? Who says so?
What are you on about? By who?
But who? Like
finals.
By us.
You're meant to get better. You're meant to get better. So the standard has to be here. We're not St Kilda like when we were losing and you said to me, "Oh, week's a long time in football, Pom. It can get better." That's not what Carlton about. We should be winning, trying to win the thing, not get better. We've done that. So for me, if I genuinely agree on form 50-50, but if we're going in there as a 50-50 team, piss water, blow the place up.
Well,
All right.
you
And that's
should
with
all-
respect, because I always show Saints respect. But let's be having it right. We should not be going into this game going, oh no, 50-50.
Jake, let's be honest about something. This is that game that you bookmark at the start of the year as a Saints fan, isn't it?
How many times I got to say Geelong is the one I bookmark, and then Carlton is a bonus. Yeah, so we've taken care of Geelong, and now that's the focus. But I don't look at obviously this one's different because it's Spud's game, so there's a bit of meaning behind it. It's a great cause, and it's our only home MCG game for the year. Last one was Collingwood last year, which was an awesome game as well. I mean, if we go 2 years in a row and beat the Cats and the Blues, it's a tick. But why would I look at? It's not Carlton's this grand thing, and I look at that's the first thing. It's probably Geelong, Collingwood's one I look at on the fixture, and then probably Carlton.
So this is not that one where you just circle preseason and you think, we could lose all these other games, but you want to beat the Blues. It's Geelong. It's not Carlton.
No, it's Geelong. Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to say that. Yeah, there's that.
I just feel like there's something out there that speaks differently.
Oh no, he's got a clip.
Oh my god!
I know everyone loves putting Carlton at the G in front of 60-odd thousand of their fans. Surely this is the one everyone's bookmarked. And
hey, well, I said everyone, by the way.
Sorry.
I didn't specifically say for me.
I just want.
What did I say?
to
What did I
confirm.
say with the Geelong one? What did I say with Geelong? Go back to the
I
Geelong
think
game.
this is going to be a bit of a scrap,
Oh,
but I think we just get over the line. I'm going to go Saints by.
Oh, correct.
What did I
Last
tip
three seasons
here?
We've played 3 options. Surely this is the one everyone's bookmarked. And
wait, what did I tip?
wanna get
What's
up
the
for?
margin? What's the
Leon
margin?
reckons King will kick 8, Saints by 5 goals in the last game, but I want him to kick 8 in this one. Imagine him
He's
kicking
not
8
even
on
playing. He's not even playing, you idiot. This is triggering.
Saints
Take
by
it off.
30, Blues can get. Everyone's getting gradually more aggressive in the comments.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to see Terry in the Saints jumper.
Look at me just take a look at that moment of silence after I say Terry to
by
Saints
11.
jump. I think about my future at that point.
We could come last, but as long as we beat Carlton at the G, I'm happy. Saints by 4
I'm
goals,
reading-
Saints by 1.
Are you idiots? I'm reading comments. I'm reading the comments. They're
go.
saying it, not me. I'm reading. It's a live stream, Pom. I'm reading comments.
I'm going to go with another heartbreak for Carlton fans. I'm going to go with a 1 point St Kilda win.
Jesus.
I was reading the comments. I was reading the comments.
Yeah.
You could
I'm stitched up.
Terry, where he says 1 point to go with our 1966 flag win or something.
Oh, that's right. So
Yeah,
can
you're
I tell
16
you,
flags because you were through all that. Okay.
Can I tell you that came out
Yeah.
on the 15th of December.
15th of
And
December. Yeah.
I put it in my calendar for today.
Really?
I was so
And-
worked up about it.
And
I'll show-
people think that the Blues are rent free in my head. Seems like
No,
it's the
I'm
other way
ready.
around.
Hey man, I'm petulant. And I in my reminder, I wrote hello from the 15th of December 2020.
Oh my god.
Can I just say?
Oh, now I get it. Now
been
that's
top
why when
three.
we did the preview, I get it now because I didn't tip us by 1. I tipped us by 27.
you
Makes
tipped
sense.
Fuck, that's good. That's from past Terry. That's good. To leave
The
yourself
level of
even a
pettiness
note.
is-
Yeah,
Honestly, the level of pettiness, I'm applauding.
That's ridiculous.
that's fuck.
But I will not stand for reading out comments and you thinking I said it. I will not stand for
You
that.
said
I was reading
everyone.
comments.
You said this.
Nah, he's talking about
Yeah,
the,
it was the other. No, I'm talking about the one I said after that.
we could lose. We could lose every game.
We could lose every game. We could lose every game, but as long as we win this, that was someone's comment. I wasn't saying that.
No, I'm not misquoting you. I'm just saying.
I'm just putting it out there.
And saying heartbreak to go with 19.
It's a 50-50. It's a 50-50 game. It's a 50-50 game. And if we lose, I'll shake your hand. I'll go, well done, mate. Season's back on track. We'll move on. Let's just.
Andrew Bassett as well requested this game to be moved, didn't he, to the G?
Really?
I mean, we always wanted Spud's game to be at the G like last year.
Yeah, because he
it was a
said that the
success.
reason was so they could experience finals atmosphere with 70,000 Carlton fans. Because obviously they won't experience it at all.
And
It's
you won't
all
get
right,
it
don't
this
worry.
year. And you won't get it this year. You didn't get it last year at the G. So what difference does it make to you?
Mar, all I've got to do for this show is beat you, and I'm not the biggest loser on this channel. So that's
Are we doing a bet or what?
We're
Is it gonna be a bet or what?
We're talking about Spud's game of mental health, and he's throwing loser around. How about this hypocrite? Yeah. How about this hypocrite? Yeah. Relax.
Oh, wow.
Strong words. I didn't
is there a
hear
bet
that at
or what?
halftime. I didn't hear that at halftime on his stream on the weekend when he went for a 14-minute piss after they kicked a Dawson kicked a nice boundary line goal. You know, we weren't that lippy then.
Let's talk about what Jake and I are doing on Thursday night at 11 p.m.
Yes. That would be nice.
So Jake was invited to do the ride for Spud's game. So you ride the bike around the MCG for an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, beautiful. And it was suggested that he would bring me as like his partner. So he messaged me like, "Would you be interested?" I'm not sure. Like, what do you think? I said, "Yeah, I mean, like, you know, if you're in, I'm in. I'll take your lead. I'll get behind it. You know, whatever. You let me know if you're going to do it, and I'll get around it." So we eventually agreed. We got given the 11 p.m. shift. So from 11 p.m. to midnight on Thursday night, we are riding around the MCG.
Wow.
Which is amazing. What I didn't realize was that it's one bike, two guys, one bike. Like it's a tandem bike, one behind the other.
We need like an image. We need like an image example. This is it. Can I find like a?
So what I think we do is this. I think, am I right in assuming that you will do it half an hour in the front, I'll do half an hour in the front?
Yeah, I mean, we can do that. I've got no idea.
I think we take a photo of each of us at the front, and the loser, we post the photo on the show tonight, and yeah, that can
why
be a
don't
bit
you
of a
live stream
That's
that?
a good one.
Well, the tricky part about live streaming, I thought it was stationary bikes, which I thought perfect. Just put a tripod there, but it's like a tandem bike, two guys, one bike.
Yeah, this is I'll send you the image, Terry. This is what we'll look like, I'm sure, on the night.
Yeah.
In the private chat, have a look. Get that up.
Oh dear. Oh.
Put it up
This
for the
is
audience.
what we're doing. This is essentially
This will be us. This will be us. All for a good cause.
Oh, dear.
Oh, it's going to be good fun. But it is for a great cause. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
very
That's a really good
excited
cause.
to
Well
be
done,
down.
guys.
Yeah, there'll be a bunch of others doing it as well throughout 2 p.m. on the Thursday to 2 p.m. the Friday of the game. So, yeah, it should be amazing.
Yeah. So 11 p.m. Like it's
I know. It's 9 o'clock now. I'm ready for bed. We're going to be on a bike for an hour in 2 hours time in a couple of days.
Yeah.
That's going to be crazy.
Then a coffee date at midnight, all to play for, eh?
Scrambled eggs. Yeah. Maybe a 10 p.m. warm-up feed to get the carbs, get the
1
energy
hour
going.
on a bike. Can you imagine 1 hour on a bike?
I can't remember the last time I was on a bike. I can't remember. I would have been younger than 12. So it's
Really?
yeah. I don't ride. I'm not a cyclist, mate. Do I look like a cyclist?
Yeah.
No offense to all the cyclists watching, but
You guys gonna get the Lycra out as well, or
see that's a step too far. Swoop.
Have we got like is there a thing that the boys and girls of this chat can go to donate or anything like that?
Yeah.
Great
I've put
cause.
actually if you can get a link up. I've put a link. I will have a link in our the video that we did today. That's going up on Thursday morning of the day of the event, and then my preview tomorrow as well has got a link with a QR code as well, so you can scan and donate if you watch the preview.
So there it is. I'll put it in on my channel in the chat. I'll put it in the private chat if you guys want to copy it and paste it.
Yeah,
in
it's already
your
up
chat.
for
Well done, lads.
Saints TV. There we go.
So yeah, I mean, my take on all of these causes, I don't think this is controversial at all. I like to get behind these causes by doing the doing, less than talking the talking. So for me, I believe what we do on this show already talks and speaks to men speaking up and getting vulnerable. And I kind of try and do it in the actions, like Carlton Respects, for example. I don't just tell the world, like, be nice to women. I actually support women and do it behind the scenes. I'm a little, so yep, it is obviously important, men to speak up, but I'd like to think that we do it in this show. We do it by the doing, not just the posturing and the talking, because I think far too many people and organizations do the talking and not the doing. So yeah.
Yeah,
well done,
absolutely.
Boys. Honestly, well done, boys. Well done.
Pom,
Proud.
we should do like a canoe, like a tandem canoe or something down the Yarra. Me and you get some wine, get some.
We could
cheese,
do. I was going to say
that'd be nice.
We could do. The new AFL game comes out, doesn't it?
Yes. I can't wait for that. Me and you could do an hour stream to donate to the thing and just completely slag the game off for an hour. Mate, let me tell you, for them not to release gameplay and it comes out in fucking 2 days is wild.
Is it on PC?
Wild. It should be. Yeah, it should be.
I can't believe that I pre-ordered the last one and went there first thing in the morning, Officeworks, to pick it up all those years ago.
That game is going to be absolutely shed town.
It's the same game, but it's just got updated.
I think that's my
playing
that's
list
my
or something.
fear. Yeah,
it's the same game, just new players, same buttons.
Did you get blocked by them, Luke?
No, I don't think I did, but I know he went on a blocking spree. I wasn't tweeting at him though.
I didn't tweet him. I merely commented on a comment. Do you know what I mean? I think I alluded it to being a Ponzi scheme, and I got blocked.
Did the AFL did post some reenactments from goals, didn't they? With gameplay footage or what looks like gameplay.
What looks
they had
like
Dusty's
footage.
They had I don't know
they
how
had Jamie
accurate that
Elliott's
is to the
mark,
actual.
but that's the thing, it's not. It didn't say. Usually, when FIFA do that or the NBA, they say in-game footage,
actual gameplay. Yeah.
They just took highlights of the top 10 goals of the last year and said the game will look kind of like this.
Yeah.
Let's try. Can whoever gets the game first try and actually do those goals in game and see if it's anything like.
Yeah, there's one
promoted.
Jeremy Cameron's one right on the boundary from like 45 out. There's no hope in hell you can do that in game without getting tackled into the 12th row in level 3.
Did we ever play against each other? AFL
there was in COVID. You did it. I think there was a tournament where you guys played online. I don't think I made it that night, but there was one organized that was like a round robin or something. I remember.
I'll be honest. If it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have started doing live streaming footy AFL Evolution and learning how to live stream. And I remember I got my first $100 donation. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had the light bulb to move to live streaming, and maybe fan cams would have never happened. But that was a I remember that clearly. 2020 happened. I was like going all in on like giving the channel a crack, moved home to Australia. And then I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like,
that was
no footy.
Won the granny, Dan Butler. I remember I didn't realize Jaron Geary was in the ruck. It was 20 seconds to go against Max Gawn, gets a clearance. Dan Butler kicks a torp after the siren. That was clutch. Absolute clutch.
Pommy and I did a 2v2 with against Caden McDonald and Cooko. Oh, it still hurts me that we lost that game, man. It still hurts. We were up. We started up. We were up and about. And we just, we let it slip.
It was good times.
Redemption.
It was.
Yeah.
All right.
I still can't believe we didn't get a free copy of it.
What's that?
Hey?
Why haven't they given us a free copy? Us for a free copy?
Didn't they had an event last time, didn't they?
Well, last time they had an event, I remember I got some codes. I think, Jake, I gave you one of the codes.
You gave me one of the codes as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And Pom.
Yeah.
Did I give you a code, Pom? Yeah, I gave all three of you the code. See that?
Yeah, but we're
Where's
big deals. We're big deals.
Where's the early release, Big Ant? Where's the early release We
Well,
could have
if
just
they-
leaked some exclusive
Speak.
footage tonight. Imagine
Yeah,
that.
we
Just
could
about
have
to say,
played
if
it.
they
It could have
wanted to
been
do
us
it, if they wanted
tonight.
to do it the right way, and this goes back this full circle to the Craig Hutchinson.
Yeah,
thing.
Hutchie.
If they
Yeah,
wanted,
mate.
if they wanted to take us, they want to take us seriously for fucking showing an AFL highlight of Bobby Hill running down tackle, but they're not going to give us, here's the biggest content creators or some of football. Here's some codes. Have some fun. And just say nice things about it or something, fuck off.
Well,
Get fucked.
wait. So Luke, Pommy, you're blocked. Luke, you're not.
I'm not on
reckon
Twitter.
I actually reckon it was.
I
on
emailed
Twitter
them.
that
I emailed Big Ant like 2 weeks ago and heard nothing from him. So
What did you say? What was your wording?
I said, please, codes, please.
Please give me copy.
And that was
Yeah.
and that was it. And that was it. It was
I
just
wanna-
a gif of me doing this.
I'm telling you, man. I reckon I got the codes given to me on Twitter. Yeah, I did. I've got them here. It
From-
was May 3, 2023, and I've got 2 codes, which would have been.
Oh my
used
god,
before
that's
yeah.
almost or pretty much 2 years ago.
True. I'm gonna message and say, hey, any chance we can get a little code action?
Yeah.
Yeah, just screenshot
100%.
the old codes, and go, look, I just thought, did it last time. It'd be great to do it again.
Okay.
It's disappointing. I mean, to be fair, Swoop did do like 6 videos saying that this game is worse than getting gastro.
It was though. Like, what do you want me to say?
I mean, it was.
It was worse than getting
I'm not going to lie. It was. But, like, you did go quite hard, Swoop.
Yeah, fuck him. Nah, I love him. I love Big Ant. I love Big Ant.
We're not getting it now. We're not getting
I
it
like
now.
Anthony's.
Yeah, we had a slim hope there with Terry, and you've really slammed that door shut, Pom. Thanks for that. Oh, I'm sorry, Swoop.
I'm gonna ask the question and see what I can do.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you want us to say something really nice and you can clip it and then send that to them and be like,
No,
look, we're really excited for it.
no, look, he's a
I'm really
Carlton
excited for the
man,
game.
He's a
Yeah, I
Carlton
think I'm
supporter.
pumped for it.
and I would say I have a fine relationship with him.
Are there new
Yeah.
features? Have they mentioned, like, are they doing something?
Yeah,
like,
if you bought any credits last year, they're going to give you a little badge to put on your.
Are they finally doing like an ultimate team?
Well, if
Yeah, they
you
did.
read
They did
press
for the other one.
release,
Oh, okay.
They did after a year and a half on the other one, and their official reply was, "We never promised it on a game," and they haven't directly promised it on release this time
yes,
either.
Wait, what? How do I
Okay.
ask the codes? What's the What's the?
Just be like that.
mate,
Hey,
we'd
big
like-
dog, give us fucking protein, you prick.
You know, yeah.
hmm.
We want to promote it. We want to promote it. We want to promote it on the
promoting-
show.
Looking at promoting it on the show.
I mention PommyInOz and Swoop Luke.
Don't mention Pom.
Yeah.
Don't mention Pom.
Link them
What
to my
about don't
series.
mention You did fucking videos calling them a scam artist.
Can you unlist those videos, mate? Unlist them. Put them on
deleting
private or
him.
something.
I'm deleting him as we speak. Actually,
Can I just say,
It's not
the only
worth it.
thing this is how bad the company is, right? Is the director of the company responded and said, "Can you directly quote where we said Pro Team would be there on release?" And literally someone replied with like every poster they did going, now including Pro Team. And he said, again, we didn't specify it be there. And I was like, this sounds like the time my uncle Alan convinced all the family that my auntie was dying. She just needed $1,000 for treatment. And then she never did have cancer. And his response was, she could do in the future, though. I was like, the modern day Ponzi scheme. And he blocked me. And I was like, well, that's literally what you've said. You've taken money. And said, I never said it'd be there at the time.
I'm gonna reply to the message where he gave me the codes and be like, "Hey mate, hope you're well."
Just be like,
when's the
Pom and Swoop have done a collab together, just saying how Big Ant is basically an unbranded EA Sports.
If I get it on PC, do I have to can I play on keyboard and mouse? Is that how it works?
No, you just go out and buy a controller, Terry.
Yeah, buy a controller, plug it in like a PlayStation.
I've just
Wait,
sent
2025.
Terry. I've just sent in the private chat.
It's harder.
A video that I did called Manager Mode Episode 4. I hate this game.
Can we get that up? Can we get that up, please? I need to see this.
Say, if you go and watch his videos, Sweep went fucking hard. I am actually annoyed he's not blocked by the company because I made one banter comment and he went in.
Hey,
Luke's career on AFL 23. We are about 8 patches into this game. I'm not going to name all here because that was too long, but if you wanted me to do a separate video on that or whatever, I can do that. But at the moment, I think this would be the third or fourth episode.
Let me get to
So let's just get straight into it.
his heart hasn't been broken yet.
All right, so we'll go into managerial career. Okay, so this is the third round against Brisbane. Obviously,
Jack Steele. Nice.
No, the fourth round against Brisbane. We won our first game, lost our next two because there was a lot of glitches. We know that.
How's the ladder? How's the ladder, by the way?
We're going to allow support
Not
staff
bad.
to select the lineup. So let's do that and get into this game.
Go to
Allow
his
support
rage.
staff to select the lineup.
Where's the
Get into this game.
hang on, I'm raging here. I'm raging here.
Oh,
I'm raging here.
Okay. Select uniforms. Yeah, I just want something fun. Just something fun. Simulate match. I can't go. That's all right. We'll see the teams a little bit later.
oh, here we go.
Alrighty. Give me the X to continue, please. Anyway, I hope everyone's been well. Hope you're enjoying this series still. X to continue.
God.
All right. So this is at the Gabba, and the Gabba's looking really good. Yep, the same sort of banner. All right, we'll punch all through these. So, like I said, there's been about 18 patches so far. I can't remember what the last sort of patch was that we played, but it would definitely maybe 12 or something. But anyway, there was just like improvements to this thing and that, this and that and this and that, stability improvements and stuff like that. So hopefully it doesn't crash, and hopefully we have a better game now, 18 patches deep. So that's fine.
The passive
All right,
aggression.
let's get into it.
Here we go.
The big men fly. Berry trying to find a path. Ashcroft couldn't get a disposal. Neil.
This is so triggering.
Okay. So
Gets to the front spot.
Johnny Noble is on Charlie Cameron. Ashcroft just went through John Noble. All right, so we started off. All right, we start off. They kicked the goal to start off. That's because we lost the tap. Oh, Mason Cox is in the ruck. All right.
The Lions off to a good start. McInerney palms it down. Dunkley, well played. His vision was
Okay,
Oh, it's just
still
it's clinical.
don't know
my
how
God.
to punch or mark. Apparently.
You can feel the
What a
rage
what a-
building and you
what a
holding
shit
it
game.
All
down.
right, so they're two goals up, and it is not looking good for us.
And he does.
Oh man.
2 goals in 10 seconds.
Thought that was probably a bit too easy.
What was the final score in
Mason
the
Cox
end?
against. We should be winning this tap out, right?
Does the game crash?
How are they just?
Nah, not in.
Smashes it out
They're just
there.
getting free. They're just continuously getting free.
Throws it on the boot. Zorko fumbles it.
Like especially out of that centre, my players just aren't going with them. You think there'd be a mechanic that kind of says, "All right, look, let your play. You're gonna let me get the ball. What the friggin' hell was that?" They should look. Why is he running that way for? What is going on?
Which way will it be?
Did you just see that? That is
Oh, you got the.
crazy. But look, we're gonna take a shot for goal, and I think that's Kruger, right?
Crew.
There was no indication for me to do anything, but that was crazy. But look, we're not going to complain. There's no wind,
what
I
we're
don't
doing.
think. So Kruger's going to line up, and he's going to
This
put
was
this
the
one
worst
through.
part about it. Just trying
Come
to
on,
kick the
Kruger.
goal.
Come on, big boy.
Oh,
What are you?
I'm having flashbacks from playing this game. Legit.
What am I doing wrong there? Is there another way to kick the ball besides what I've been doing this whole?
I've done this in my life.
oh
I don't think I'm
man.
gonna ask him.
I-
Yeah.
that
I
hurt.
don't think
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna ask him. Nah.
That was bad.
So
That was
Big
bad.
Ant, we want to promote the game. Terry.
I retract it. I retract it. The other two can. I ain't.
Oh boy.
I just want to see Swoop do the videos again of him going, "What is going on?"
I will.
I did games. Oh, I did a video. I made 2 people rage quit in AFL Evolution 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I did. Oh, the Liam Stocker career mode, where I
The
played
journey?
as Liam Stocker, the journey. Yeah, the Liam Stocker journey.
Luke
I played against Killer Creed. I played a match against
I think I did one where I created a 99 rated team and tried to play against them. And I don't think it went really, but I created individual players and they're all just 99 stats. And I just played
Do you
against
guys
them.
remember who was world number 1 for a long time in AFL Evolution 2?
Oh, Andy.
Andy. I have a video playing against him. I might have beaten him.
Who's Andy?
Yeah, I got no
Geelong
idea who that is.
supporter. I think he's still in our
Andy.
comments. I think he's like
Okay.
around.
He is, yeah. He always pops in on live chat. They'll recognize him. He always says, "Hey, Pom."
Yeah. 2v2 tournament with Dan. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah, it's a flashback.
Good times.
Fun. That was fun.
So I'm not sending the message.
Nah, send
That's-
it anyway. What
That's
can
on
I
you.
say?
Send it, and you two can promote it, and me and Swoop will just do videos bagging it.
Yeah, that's
I
balanced.
just-
That's all right.
I'm just going to be.
Listen,
very
would you
honest.
rather a game that needs work or no game?
I'd rather a
Yeah,
game
true.
that works.
A game, yeah. Oh,
We don't even have a league that works, let alone.
yeah. So the game is a reflection, really. It's pretty accurate when you think about it.
How much are they charging for this game?
120.
Shut up.
No.
Behave.
Oh, it'd be $100. Yeah, brand new. Check it.
No.
Oh,
It'd be
no,
$100.
$90.
$89 from JB.
Yeah. Okay. So they've dropped it. The other one for like a year after it, I was still seeing an EB, and it was like
It was still-
110
yeah.
bucks. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
This is with
$89.
problems. I mean, 89 is still high. Yeah. Like, honestly, if you're an AFL member, you should get a discount, right? Like, surely there's a
I think
partnership with the AFL.
I think if you've bought the game, in
You
the
should be
last-
revoked. Your
last
membership
few
should be
editions,
revoked. Yeah, I
They
agree.
should just. I think Ross should come round to my house, do this, and I go, "Hello," and he's like, "Here you are, mate." That's what he should do.
And he unblocks you as well.
Yeah,
Before
no,
we-
Big Ant, he hasn't blocked me. Big Ant blocked me.
Oh, sorry.
Big hand.
Before we jump off,
Yeah.
before we jump off, should we? Do you quickly want to talk about Willie Rioli? I've just been seeing it in the comments a lot. Should he have been sanctioned by the AFL
Yeah.
for threatening a player? 100%, right?
I must be missing something. There must be details about it that have not been made public.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be
There
because
has to
this,
be.
like, how is he
Yeah.
not getting sanctioned?
There has
did he
to
message?
be something else.
Bailey Dale and then someone from
Bailey
Essendon
Dale.
and someone from Geelong.
Oh,
He
separately.
Yeah,
Just
he
dropped,
messaged
like, right
a
now.
teammate
Oh.
of Bailey Dale, and then it's been released since that this isn't the first time. He also did it last year as well, and the
And-
players have only just come forward now.
And
And then
apparently,
there's a
Liam
third
Glover's
incident
saying,
that's
yeah.
since been reported.
Yeah.
Details
Oh,
of
sorry. Details of a third really threat earlier in the year against Essendon.
I did do a video on it, though, chat. If you head on over, very composed Pom.
yeah, there's definitely more to that than
But to not get a
So the AFL's official stance was because it had been dealt with by both parties and Bailey Dale accepted the apology. No further action would be taken, and both clubs have been basically been given a writ to be nice.
is that a okay? That's interesting.
There has to be more to this
Because
than what
if-
we know.
Yeah, 100%. Because if the AFL knew about the Geelong and Essendon, and then it comes out that he's done this one, and to not sanction him for any of them,
Yeah.
Does that mean that there would be? Are we saying that maybe there is that other side that's as responsible, and that's why they're
some
like,
sort
"Oh,
of- there has to be
just say."
some sort of set of facts that justify why he wasn't sanctioned.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just not making sense based off the information we have available to us. Like it seems like he's done it 3 times, and the AFL has done
To
nothing.
be fair,
about
they
it.
didn't know he'd done it 3 times when they originally sanctioned him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So the statement this morning was based on the Bailey Dale one. After that, it came out today. The third one came out in the last hour.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
The second
Yeah.
one was this
I
morning.
wonder if they go back now and sanction as a whole, depending on the context.
Well, it was
Our
interesting
content.
because if you read the sanction, there's a great Tim Watson and Gary Lyon. I'd never say that they're good at it, but they did actually cover it pretty well, which we featured in the video I did. But they discussed it at length, and the grey area was the statement of the AFL don't like to get involved in off-field incidents. But then Tim Watson brought up, obviously there was Josh Fahey, the GWS player, that was off-field. Noah Bolter, they did a recommendation that was off-field. They alluded to that doesn't work because in a workplace, you can still be done for things you do off-field. And I think it's an interesting one. I think it's an interesting one because I mentioned it in my video. It'd be interesting to see. I would say that they always use on-field things from what the player's done. How do you, and it's quite weird because I didn't know, I had no intel, but I said it was interesting if he's ever done this before in the terms of what would he have done if he had watched this game and he wasn't involved, but he decided, tell Bailey Dale when I see him on the field this weekend, I'm going to take him out, and then did take him out. Would that change the AFL's opinion? Because it always is like, I don't want to bring the argument up last week, but like I said, outcome based is dangerous because the outcome in this case is he didn't get his boys to kick him in. So it's okay. And that's my argument. The action needs punishing irregardless. Because what happens if next time someone does do it? Like, that's my argument. What if he did send his mates to that hotel and kick the fuck out of Bailey Dale?
Yeah.
So is he going to play this weekend
Well, unless he takes a week off for personal
in the showdown?
leave.
The illusion is he's going to take
He'll
some personal
be omitted.
leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But
there were-
Port Adelaide's statement about it, all they got was, I think it was their football manager said it's entirely up to Willie. So it's we're going to ask the player, is he in a fit state of mind? There's going to be no internal sanctions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what Adelaide do if he does play. Just given it's a showdown and the animosity between the two clubs anyway. Be interesting. No tribunals, no reports at all to report?
Was there anything this week? No.
Don't think so. At least I'm glad, quick note, I'm glad that what we talked about last week with the Flying Viking, his 4 weeks is 4 weeks and not 6 with the buys. Laura Kane adjusted that. So it kicked off this weekend. So he's back for round 12 and not beyond, which is great.
That was the right
common
thing to do.
sense. Yeah. Common sense prevailed, which is great.
Yeah, that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, talks of. Oh no, we're gonna go just quickly. The 23 teams in the VFL next year, apparently, with Tassie and St Kilda. So
really,
even more buys. Yeah.
Ugh.
Nice. All right, let's go.
All right,
go to the tour.
Ladies and gents, thanks for being here. Much love. See you next Tuesday when either the Blues or the Saints win.
Big 50-50 game.
It's a huge 50-50 game. Huge.
Cooper Sharman legacy game. Legacy
cannot
game.
Wait to watch it.
Look at his eyes.
I hope Ashton Moyer plays.
Is that actually a chance? Is it a chance or
more chance of me being fucking named? Honestly, kid.
all right. We're gonna wrap this one up. All right. See you.